All right, we are 20 hours after the launch day, and my software already got 1.6 thousand users registered. I was also selected to be the product of the day, and I got this little badge right here. And the crazy part is that 2 weeks ago, the idea didn't even exist. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I got a bunch of startups ID. I'm also going to show you the product and the tech stack that I use and some methods I use to build a product in around 7 days. And some software engineers will not like this part of the video. And finally, I'm going to cover the launch day and how I managed to get around 7,000 visitors on my landing page. Let's go. How do you find startups ideas? This is one of the most common questions that I get asked on my channel, and the answer is a little bit counterintuitive. When I started the journey about 6 years ago, I was brainstorming startup ideas for hours, like sometimes even days, thinking I will come up with something magical. And I implemented those ideas and none of them actually worked. But about a year ago, I started to stop thinking about ideas and instead I started to build stuff, whatever it is. And then I would stumble across problems all the time, like DNS issues or like knowledge issues, or like I don't know where to launch my startups. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And then now my list is filled with startups ideas. For instance, for the software I just launched, here is how I got the idea. I have built 24 products and 7 of them are making money, and I want to build better products for people. So I asked them what they want to use, and for that I use a feedback management tool called Canny. It's a little feedback board where people can suggest features and upvote them so I know which one to prioritize. The problem with Canny is that first, it's made for a big company, so it's very cluttered. There's a bunch of features and it's very complicated for solopreneurs like me. And the second problem with Canny is that if you have more than one product, it costs at least $99 per month, which is an insane amount of money for a feedback tool. And just like this, I had this idea of building an alternative to Canny that is much simpler for smaller markets, the niche of solopreneurs. So instead of looking for startup ideas, I built solutions to problems I experience. And chances are I'm not unique, so many other people might have the exact same problem as me and they might be in need of my product. And when I launched it, I saw that many other solopreneurs experience the exact same frustration with other feedback management tools. And that's how I know I have a product that will be used by users. So unless you have been working for a company for 10 years and you know that there's some pains in their workflow, like they're slow for this or they struggle to hire people, then you might be able to have a good startups idea born from that. But if you're a guy just like me and you spend most of your time home and you just want to build apps, chances are you don't really have a problem that can be solved with a digital product. So the way to find good startups ideas is to actually to build something, anything. Rebuild a habit tracker that you use, make a note-taking app, a grocery app for you and your family, build anything. Along the way, you're going to stumble across problems, whether it's not knowing how to implement this feature or struggling with DNS records, or maybe it's even a marketing issue and you don't know where to launch your startups. And these problems will give you tons of startups ideas. So the way to find good ideas is to think less and build more. All right, now let me show you the tech stack I use and how I build the product in 7 days, and let's start with a quick demo of the software. Okay, so this is the demo of Insighto, the little feedback management tool I created. This is the landing page. I like to make interactive demo on the left so the cards are clickable, and this is the landing page here. For the feature part, I like to have some interactivity, so it makes people want to discover more. So if you hover with your mouse, you'll see all those little things moving here and there. And that's pretty much it for the landing page. Once you are signed up as an admin, you will see all the feedback boards right here. So this is the one that I use for Insighto. As an admin, I can change a few stuff here. So I can change the themes to match my brand. I can also manage the feedback that are being given by users. This one was canceled because I fixed it. I can change, say that I'm working on this one or I shipped that feature. And then there is the public dashboard link where on the right side we have all the features suggested by users. Once they're logged in, they can click to upvote them. They can also suggest any features they want right here. And they can have a conversation on each feedback given if they want to add more things there. So here is the tech stack I use to build this software, and this is the exact same tech stack I use for all my 23 websites. When I don't change my tech stack, I don't procrastinate, and I can focus on shipping features and products. It's a Next.js repo, so the front end and as well as the back end, I have the little API routes by Next.js. Everything is handled with Next. I also use Tailwind CSS instead of CSS, as well as Daisy UI for the components, so things like the buttons, the inputs, and the forms. My database is MongoDB. I hear you coming, Supabase developers. I don't know why MongoDB gets so much hate. I absolutely love it. I click a button, deploy a cluster, I have a little string, I add it to my code, and boom, it's working. And the cluster is hosted on MongoDB Atlas. To authenticate users, whether it's admin users who log into their actual dashboard or it's just users who want to provide feedback, I'm using NextOath. It's a very simple library that has a bunch of social authentication providers, so Google, Facebook, and GitHub, for instance. And I also always add a login by email, so like a magic links, and for that I use Mailgun to send those emails. There are tons of developers who don't really like Mailgun. I really love it. It's super simple to get started, and they have a pay-as-you-go service. So for $1, you'll get 1,000 emails, which I think is really fair. It took me around 7 days to build the product, and this is not very common, especially for software engineers, is because I make lots of trade-off. First, I remove a bunch of features that are not essential, so there is no way for people to delete their account, to retrieve their password, or stuff like that. And my second trick is that I don't use a bunch of software engineer tools. So there's no TypeScript, I ship straight to production, I don't use Git branches, I don't test my code. I make all these trade-offs so I can ship faster. I come from a developer background, so I used to do stuff very slowly, very securely. I spent years building apps that made $0 to sometimes a couple $100, but nothing crazy. But after years getting almost no results, I changed my entire mindset and I focused more on shipping fast and having a better copywriting on my landing page. And surprisingly, at the same time, my revenue went from not being able to pay the bills to about 50 to 150K per month at the moment. Because entrepreneurship is about making small bets. And you can see this pattern applies to most successful solopreneurs out there. They start to ship one tiny feature of a product, and sometimes nothing happens, sometimes it takes off and go viral. And then at this moment, they double down on it and they grow a big company. My advice is this: try to show the smallest version of your product to the world as fast as you can. That's how you gather genuine feedback and know if it's worth or not your time. And now that we're talking about one of the most exciting parts, it's time for a little coffee. I usually launch on every platform, so Product Hunt, Reddit, Hacker News, and Twitter at the same time. And the goal is to create some kind of momentum and get as much traffic as I can in about 1 day. But I made a little mistake. I normally schedule all my posts on Twitter to make sure they go right on time when the Product Hunt launch starts. And one of my good friends was in Bali for just a week, so I really wanted to see him. You might know him already. It's Thibaut Maker, one of the most prolific indie hacker out there. He's built a Twitter tool that he grew to $600,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and he sold it for 9 figures. He's an absolutely legend. As he was here for just a week, we were having a lunch at the same time as I was launching. And during the lunch with Thibaut, one of my close friends, Nico, called me and said the Product Hunt link on Twitter is wrong. And I didn't have my computer, I had nothing with me besides my phone, so my friend Thibaut gave me his computer, and together during the launch, we fixed the launch. Alright, enough of this, here's the launch strategies. Alright, first, Twitter is the most important part of my strategy, because this is where most of my potential users are, and they're also very active on Product Hunt, so it can help leverage the launch on that platform as well. I usually try to make one funny-ish video, you'll tell me if it's fun or not, where I say that I'm launching the startups and I give the Product Hunt link so people can see the products through Product Hunt, and hopefully they will leave an upvote when they see the product. The reason I'm making these funny launch videos is because first, they do well on X at the moment. Videos X doing well, this is kind of weird. The second part is because I love making those videos, I'm having a good time, and I hope people can see that, and so my tweet is more likely to perform well. Now that I have close to 100,000 followers on Twitter, it's tempting to think that it's easy for me to launch. And it's not easy, it's just easier. I started to make those fun launch videos when I had a couple hundred followers on Twitter. And back then, my tweet would get as many views and many likes as my tweets right now, even though I had barely any audience there. So even though you don't have a big audience on Twitter right now, you can still make a nice, interesting tweet for people to discover your product. Those fun launch videos were my style and I absolutely love it, but you can also just show behind the scene, make a video, show your computer screen, explain why you build a product. If you're a person who make and launch apps, your life is so cool that there are many things you can share on Twitter. You just have to find the right format and find your own signature. So as I said before, most of the launch strategy relies on Product Hunt. I already made a video on my channel last week to show you exactly how you can get traffic and how you can optimize your Product Hunt launch. You can refer to that. And finally, I launched on Hacker News and on Reddit. Those are 2 platforms that if you get lucky, the post can go viral and can give you a bunch of traffic. Unfortunately, this time I was not one of the lucky ones, but definitely worth considering. All right, now let's talk about numbers. The product has been on the internet for about 2 days now, and there are 7,000 people who visited the site from Product Hunt, Twitter, Reddit, and Hacker News. 1.5 thousand people signed up for the product, which is really big. And I also got some really positive feedback, especially from Peter Levels, one of the most prolific indie maker out there, who said the product is amazing and he loves the simplicity of it. Yay, that makes me so proud. I also got the badge, the Product Hunt of the Day badge from Product Hunt, which is a good, nice social proof for my website. And this is just the beginning. I hope that some media or newsletter will probably check the content of Product Hunt and I might get more traffic later. Financially wise, I spent $0 and I also made $0. As you've seen, there is no pricing on the product. It's 100% free for now. I'm gonna leave it as it is for free. And what I'm doing, and the reason there is no pricing, which is very unusual. If you've been following me, I always say that we should add a paywall on websites first. This is a bit special because I'm not disrupting anything. I'm just taking an existing product and I'm making a simpler version of it. And I think it's not fair for now to start charging for simplicity. So what I'm trying to do is I'm putting the product in as many hands as I can for free, and I see how sticky it is. I'm looking for power users. I'm looking for people who will use the product for a month and either love it or tell me that it's solving one of their pain. And then from that, I will be able to know if it's worth opening a paid plan on the product and building more features for those users. So for now, I'm collecting feedback and waiting to see for an opportunity. All right, that's it for this video. If you want to see the other 23 products I made, I'll share a link to that video somewhere around here. And if you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. That really means a lot. All right, until the next one, I hope you just ship it.